The final season of Game of Thrones is still what feels like an eternity away, but thanks to months and months of leaks, we know what we're definitely going to be seeing in the final season. Warning, there are massive spoilers and potential spoilers for this season in this video. While some of this is me piecing together things based on leaks, it's also based on very real photos and video taken of filming the final season. So you may have seen my other video, what we're probably going to see in the final season. Well, this video is what we're definitely going to be seeing in the final season. What's the difference? In the other video, I took leaks and guessed what they could mean. This one, I'm going to give you what we definitely know and try not to theorize or speculate as much. But I can't help myself, so not sorry, but I will try to control myself. Mostly. With that out of the way, first, we know that Jon and Cersei are going to meet again in the final season. From leaked photos, we see that Jon comes to King's Landing again this season to talk with Cersei. In this meeting, the Mountain will stand nearby. Now, what are they discussing? Probably Jon trying to get her to stop being a backstabbing bitch and help them for one. I'll leave it to your imagination what you think this meeting is for and what they'll talk about though. And how many things dripping with sarcasm Cersei will spew at Jon. But let's keep talking about Cersei, because from all the leaked photos of that epic as shit King's Landing set they built just for the final season so they can wreck it, Cersei's overcompensating with a shit ton of Lannister banners. Oh wait, I have to phrase this so it fits in with the title of this video. In the final season of Game of Thrones, we're going to see a shit ton of Lannister banners all over King's Landing. Just an obsessive amount of Lannister banners. Definitely. But that's not all. We're definitely seeing 3 anti-dragon weapons on the walls of King's Landing, which appear to be new and improved. And likely designed by Qyburn, but I can't say that with 100% certainty. There were also photos taken on the wall of King's Landing with quite a few archers. So you're welcome, we're going to see Lannister archers on the walls of King's Landing in the final season. Riveting stuff. However, you might be interested to know at least one dragon will be at King's Landing this season. The dragon spine prop was set up at the King's Landing set, and there was a lot of fire. Whose dragon? We'll see. You can let me know your guess for which dragon it's going to be and who will be controlling it in the comment section down below. Okay, so there's a lot more. Over the course of filming at the King's Landing set, we saw an enormous green screen, lots of fire, controlled explosions, which were done in this area, and some towers were seen collapsed afterwards. It was a lot of fun to see the aftermath props for King's Landing being stored across the street from the King's Landing set, including bits of Red Keep pieces. We also saw the creation of a gate that was breached, and then them building over it to make it look whole. The gates closest to the Red Keep are the Iron Gate, Dragon Gate, and River/Mud Gate. Take your pick which gate it'll be that they actually breach. So we're definitely seeing at least one gate breached at King's Landing this season. And we're seeing lots of fire. But who is doing the destruction? That would be speculation. But we do know certain people that are definitely going to show up at King's Landing in the final season. Last season, we saw Daenerys and her army of Unsullied and Dothraki pay Cersei a visit at King's Landing. Upon making a truce, Dany and her army headed north to deal with the whole undead problem. While I'm sure the Unsullied and Dothraki spend considerable time up north fighting the others and the undead, we know from leaks eventually they do head down south back to King's Landing to pay Cersei another visit. Leaked photos and videos showed both the Dothraki and Unsullied outside of King's Landing again for the final season and actually marching in. Now, why do you think they'll head back to King's Landing and under whose orders? From leaks, we really can't tell yet, but we can make some educated guesses. But I'm gonna stop there talking about the Dothraki because I'm doing a separate video where I speculate why the Dothraki are going to be at King's Landing again, and this video is things that are definitely happening, and I can't tell you definitely exactly why the Dothraki will be at King's Landing. So I'll leave this one alone for now. Just know we're definitely seeing the Unsullied and Dothraki at King's Landing in the final season for some reason. Next, I talked about this in my 5 locations we'll see again in season 8 video, so I'll keep this brief. It became apparent they were using the location for the Dragon Pit again some months ago with a crazy amount of leaks. So we'll definitely be seeing this place again. Oh, and Unsullied will definitely be at the Dragon Pit too. Makes sense as we also saw them outside of King's Landing and appear to be marching into the capital. The actors that will be at the Dragon Pit are a bit more dodgy, as the showrunners D&D may have been having some fun with tricking people. So I don't want to say who will be at the Dragon Pit because at this point, it would be a heavy guess. But let's move on to the next awesome thing we're definitely going to see in the final season. Flaming swords. You can never have enough flaming swords. Never enough. During the scenes being filmed in what looked like a northern location in the show, we saw some actors with flaming swords. Not one, not two, but 3+ flaming swords. Some snoopers took footage of warriors wielding flaming swords into battle against the Whites. While Beric is an easy guess to be one that's holding a flaming sword, we could also see others adopting the flaming swords against the Whites. Heck, maybe we're even getting some Red Priests heading over to help in the fight thanks to Mel, and this is them taking on the Whites. I would still love to see Sandor using a flaming sword finally over his trauma of fire, especially if he uses it against his brother in a final fight.
That's not how it ends for you, brother. You know who's coming for you. You've always known.
Karma's a bitch. Oh, and you know what for sure we're getting in the final season? A grieving man. Wait, stop. Don't be mad. It is a specific casting for a grieving man. So we know a clean-shaven grieving man between the ages of 30 and 40 was cast for a highly emotional scene where he couldn't go over the top. I'm hoping showing the devastation of the others attacking and he lost his family or child or wife or something. On a similar note, because I realized you didn't care about that piece of information, 5 characters were cast for an improv-heavy scene where they haggle over land. So it sounds like they're gonna have some comedic relief in the final season? I can tell you didn't care for that information either, so I'll move on. We're definitely seeing Winterfell on fire this final season. So from all the leaks, we know that Winterfell is going to be destroyed to some extent, and there's going to be a large battle fought around it. And possibly inside it too. The Battle at Winterfell was said to have been the longest filming for a battle scene in Game of Thrones, with 55 consecutive days of shooting. And this battle looks intense. Leaked photos showed massive fires at the Winterfell set and corpses littering the ground around the castle, including piles of bodies being burned. While there are definitely human-sized corpses, there were also larger-sized ones. However, it was hard to tell if they were horses, giants, or some combo. They burned 1-1, right? Yeah. Jon would have definitely burned 1-1. Interestingly, they also built more of the towers on the Winterfell set, probably for ease of filming this fight. We also know at one point a battering ram on a gate will be used, but it's unclear if those are Whites. I'm guessing they are, but crazier things have happened. We also know the Winterfell crypts will be used, but probably not for finding any harps. Really, the fate of Winterfell isn't known. One set of leaks said that Winterfell completely falls and the others take it over, forcing the Starks to flee south, and then other leaks say they're able to hold Winterfell, but it is damaged to a certain extent. All we know is Winterfell will be set on fire at one point, and there will be a huge battle outside of Winterfell and around it. Oh, and there's also going to be a super high death count. Then, of course, we have a lot of characters coming together this season, and some of these leaks make it almost canon that certain characters are going to interact in the final season. Jon and Arya are, of course, going to have an emotional reunion. Jaime's going north, and that means he's definitely going to be talking with Jon. Jaime's actor confirmed that in the final season, Jaime and Jon do interact. I really hope they have some bonding time. We also have leaks that Brienne and Jaime are together up north, which I hope means fighting together, but I can't say for certain. Oh, and Jaime's getting a beard again in this final season, which I am so on board for. Lastly, we'll be seeing a mercenary in the final season. Let's be honest, it's probably the Golden Company, or at least their leader, for an episode or two. We remember that report from many months ago. GOT is looking for a mercenary, aged 35 to 50. He's described as an authoritative, fit, cool, and charismatic military type. He'll be appearing in 2 episodes of Season 8. The role requires that he be able to ride a horse. The best bet is Game of Thrones' version of Harry Strickland, the Captain General in command of the Golden Company that Euron was going to Essos to get for Cersei with the new loan she got from the Iron Bank. At the very least, it makes sense for mercenaries to be taking advantage of war. Okay, so here we go. We'll be seeing Jon and Cersei meet again, lots of Lannister flags, lots of King's Landing destruction, a dragon at King's Landing, new anti-dragon weapons at King's Landing, the Unsullied and Dothraki at King's Landing, a ginormous battle at Winterfell with lots of fire and corpses, some improv, boobies, a grieving man, the dragon pit, flaming swords, and more. Okay, so which are you most excited about seeing in the final season? Or are you like me and just excited about everything? Like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below.